Hello, friends. This is John Klein III of episode 62 of Shadow and Flame of Magic, the podcast. And today we're going to get to review X-Terminators Volume 1, Issue 4. So let's get to it. And once again, thank you, Francisco, for providing the theme song to the podcast. And appreciate it. And you. And this is the final issue, as the cover dictates. It would have cost you $1 in the United States and 125 cans and 50 pence. It is Comic Code approved. On the cover, Inferno continues, and it's the New Mutants and the Exterminators flying around in ships and such, fighting demons. Leech. No, I'm sorry. No, it's already in the corner box, and then the bottom left box is Spider-Man. And I bought this comic very good, as what the plastic bag states, and I can already tell the bottom left corner is a little crooked, and I don't think I noticed that until right now. Anyways, so this issue came out in January 1989. Big year. Batman's going to come out this year, as is Little Mermaid. And I feel like there's like three other... Well, no, I mean, 89 is a great movie year, but maybe What Are You Watching will one day do 89. But two big year movies already. I'm sure we can look for other movies. So the issue finale. Writer Louise Simonson, penciler John Bogdanove, inker Al Milgram, letterer Joe Rosen, colorist Petra Scocchese, editor Bob Harris, editor-in-chief Tom DeFalco. So I kept thinking about it, so I was like, let me just look it up real fast. So, top 10 films. Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, which was the movie I was thinking of. But I was like, I'm missing something crucial. But also, Back to the Future 2, Look Who's Talking, Dead Poets Society, Little Mermaid, Lethal Weapon 2, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Ghostbusters 2, and Born in the 4th of July. Of all those movies, I haven't seen Born in the 4th of July with Tom Cruise. I remember starting it as a kid and being like, I don't know what this is. I don't get it. So I think I was too young to appreciate it or whatever. But this year, 89, I would have been 7 years old. So I probably watched it when I was like 12 or 15, probably on like basic cable or something. So the issue opens up with Nazir, and Nastir opens the issue, and he's just like gloating on top of Times Square, I think it is, and in a bubble behind him is the Externos team, which is Skids, Richter, Leech and Artie, Boom Boom, and Skid's friend Rusty. And Nastir's saying, and then they're in a bubble, and then Consor, I think is his little buddy. Oh, Cortus. And then WizKid is manning the computer being used to do magic. Which I don't know why I'm recapping, as eventually the comic will do it, because it's a comic from the late 80s. And Nasir is saying, oh, look up, ye citizens of Manhattan, look up, ye human awful, for the end of your world is at hand. And we get a 2-page splash that's just filled to the brim of demons, with a stepping disc above in the sky, and the pentagram made up of mutant babies. 42nd Street, Times Square in the theater district. Theater of an unholy war with the lines of battle, an inverted pentagram slashed in silver in the sky. And it's filled with demons, but also the demon hands are coming past the border of the comic, and one's even biting down in the border of the comic. It's pretty awesome. At the point of the pentagram, mutant infants float suspended limbs from computerized spells wrought by a tactical magical weapon. And I, Nasir, have delivered you to the hands of demons. Assaulted by magic, the dimensional barrier thins. With a rush of sulfur, a great portal slams open. Airborne divisions surge through on beating wings. The infantry on cloven hoof and claw. Times Square is now a no man's land, embattled ground in a high-tech push-button war. And then we see the new mutants are coming down. And it's Cannonball, and they're still wearing their graduation suits. So it's Cannonball holding Mirage. Rain and Sunfire are gliding down with Warlock. And Gossamer is holding on to Roberto, who am I thinking of? And then Dark Magic, of course, Ileana Rasputina is in her full Dark Child, all red with tail and horns, and her soul sword ablazing. And the Exterminators are looking at them like, hey, there's kids falling from the sky. They're just like us. Hey, not much like us. One of them is black and crackles with power. And we do see some awesome Kirby crackle. Hey, look, that girl has horns and tail. Kids don't have tails. Actually, maybe these are just people on the ground commenting. And my plan is to upload 2 images promoting this. So this be this magic, or Dark Child, and then the other Dark Child appearance. And then after that, we're probably going to burn through the issue pretty quickly. And Aesir continues, no, they are humans, mutants like yourselves, born with altered genetic structure that gives rise to parahuman abilities. They call themselves the New Mutants, and like you are here at my behest. Oh, no, so they must have been commenting. Said, but they're on the ground, and they're on top of Times Square, so that's what threw me off. But Martha, your great plan comes to fruition because of loyal Cortez' help. Will you not give poor hungry Cortez little mutant children to eat? As I promised, loyal Cortez, they are yours. And he just lifts up Leech and Artie and tosses them. And WizKid, and so Cortez is about to die on them, but WizKid speeds up in his powered wheelchair and punches Cortez in the face, and now he's going to destroy the computer. And Nasir is like, you actually mean to destroy your handiwork, this masterpiece that you've created for me? You bet I do. You lied to me. You tricked me. You said if I cooperated, they'd be safe. You never told me what you wanted the computer for. Foolish child, learn from that. That demon word is never to be trusted. He continues to be of use to me, Cortez. Guard him, and through him the power that he represents. You may devour the little mutants when our work here is done. And with a thud, WizKid falls on the ground. My fault. Oh, my fault. You take too much on yourself, boy. That demon beauty down below, the Dark Child, is as much my dupe, my unwitting too, as you are, and deserves as much credit. She has fulfilled her function as you have fulfilled yours. I must congratulate her. And the Exterminator, Rusty's like, demon kidnapped were bad enough. And Skiz says, the baby's up there. And Boom Boom's like, but this is worse than even I could have imagined. And Richter says, we've got to get loose. We've got to stop this. But how? And Cortez says, no way you can stop it. Lord Nazir's infants float in the sky above, while below computer continues to process magic spells that keep portal open, and Limbo's demon rain down on Earth. And Artie and Leech are helping WizKid into his chair, which is very sweet. Computer was Cortez's idea, Cortez's brilliant plan. It won Cortez his reward, the little mutant children. And won Lord Nazir Cortez's motto, great opportunities for conquest of this world and the beautiful Dark Child. And as he comments on that, we see Dark Child trying to hit Nazir with the Soul Sword. You use me, Nazir. Honestly, it's because it's in apostrophe ASTIRH, but I'm pretty sure the H is silent. So it's Nastir. Yeah. You take up my dark sword. You rip that hole in the sky to save my friends, but you plan an invasion. You lie to me. And now I'm having a hard time turning the And then we go back up to the roof. And Cortez is still haunting them. WizKid's taunting him as well. And he's trying to cleverly mention the plugs. And the computer is no good without the plugs. And Cortez is like, yeah, I know that. But Artie and Leech figure that, oh, he's telling us that we need to unplug it. And so Artie does. Then all of a sudden, without the power of the computer, which is doing the trick of doing 100 spells in like 10 minutes, and also relieving Nasir of having to do the spell himself. And so all of a sudden, the demon, the Pentagon's losing its steam, and the X-Terminators are no longer in the bubble, so they're breaking out. Cortez is losing his ever-loving mind. And everyone's trying to attack him and tackle him to keep him from plugging in the machine. But by doing so, it electrocutes Cortez, which also charges up the power again. And so they're like, unplug it again, but that's not the problem. Meanwhile, we see Nasir and Sim just like punching each other. Just doing a real slobber knocker. And there's an asterisk here. Yeah. And who or what is Nasir fighting now? Find out in New Mutants 72, Bob. And 72 will be the issue we review next week. So while the boss fight is happening, just demons are now coming for the kids, and so they're just fighting, but they're being overwhelmed, and they can't use their powers. Right, Richter can't use his powers to the most because he might destroy the entire city. And so, WizKid gets all the materials around and creates an awesome, like 6 mini planes for the whole team. And so it's fun that everyone gets one. And if this was more successful, which is insane to think because Inferno was a pretty successful crossover, they probably would have made toys of this, but I imagine, Toy Biz was like, we don't want to make Inferno toys. Which is their loss. And so Cortez jumps at WizKid, grabs him, and so his plane crashes. So everyone's like, go get him. And then Cortez delivers WizKid to Nasir, who's getting pretty tired of the whole stop blocking me. And Sim's making fun of Nasir for losing control of his lackey. There's X-Terminators are fighting all the demons in the sky, but they're starting to lose. As mostly they're all street level folks, but or at least all their powers are better if their feet are on the ground. And so they start losing, but then the New Mutants show up. They're using Warlock as a plane, essentially. And so they're all up there fighting them. The new Cannonball Sam saying that they saw them were fighting the demons, and clearly the enemy of our enemies is our friends, and they're human-looking teenagers. So it's like we will help you out. So they're either rescuing the X-Terminators or they're fighting off demons. Boom Boom recognizes Roberto. He's like, yo, Roberto, how you doing? Thought I recognized you. Remember me? Boom Boom from Fallen Angels. See Fallen Angels Limited Series, Bob. Yeah, great to see you. How you steer this thing? The joystick, like a video game. Just testing. Knew it all along. He just flies off of Gossamer in one of the jets. Danny is in the same jet with Rusty and Skids. Thank heaven you've come too. And Skids is like, who? What? Long story. For the long version, see New Mutants 71 through 72. 71 we've already reviewed. Nasir tricked your teammate. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Tricked our teammate, the Dark Child, into opening a dimensional rift between Earth and Limbo. And I want to say that's the last time she's referenced. And the kid with the horn and the scales, we saw her where? Teleported away somewhere. We've got to find her. But it's like an erupt, like jump, right? We had on the Dark Child fighting Nazir, and then literally the page turn and a whole issue happens essentially. So the team's trying to get back to the ground. Nazir is explaining to Sim the plan, because now that Sim's on Earth, like they need the power again to get the Pentagon back up. And so Wiz Kid, I guess rhymes with skid, is what my brain did there. And so he starts trying to transform his wheelchair into something else, but then Sim assists and turns the whole wheelchair into a giant rock and starts crushing him. And then Nasir says that's not necessary. My touch alone has certain properties which heretofore I have avoided exploring, which is weird, as you think he would have done this from the very beginning. But he mind controls WizKid into hitting the buttons to reactivate everything. And WizKid thinks to himself, like, he can't stop his hands from disobeying, but maybe he can add an order. So as long as he's tapping away, he decides to hit a multiple command button and turns everything to 10. And then we see at the same time, Nasir has decided to create a mini volcano underneath Sim with a vavoom. And so Sim's like on fire. But because of the multiple power thing, there's multiple volcanoes erupting. Meanwhile, Sim's trying to take a little bit of control, so reforms the rock around WizKid, so now he's drowning in rock. Collapsing under rock? Being buried under rock. That's the term. And the exterminators finally get to the ground. They see what's happening. They're trying to get to WizKid. Richter's trying to use his earthquake powers to blast the rock. Sim and Nasir are just punching each other again, because, priorities. One tiny key is depressed by the force of a prematurely launched time bomb. And because meltdown. Boom Boom threw a time bomb. And missed. And as the key shatters into 1,000 tiny splinters, every steam cap in Times Square blows its top. The air becomes a searing, incandescent cloud, unfit for the human lungs, unsupportive of human life. And Nasir is recognizing that they need a new plan, so he tries to get away, but Sim's and now holding his hands, doing that wrestling move and you don't see it too often anymore, but that feat of strength to see who can crush each other's hands the most. But Nasir, since he's now touching him, starts absorbing the techno virus. And so now Nasir, who's usually green, is now all red. So I guess that techno virus has given him like a red armor. And Sim is now like a quarter of his size, or Nasir's 3 times his own size. And WizKid's trying to slowly crawl his way to the computer. And Nasir has the power again. Oh, coming this fall, the Marvel Action Universe with premiering October 1st to the 2nd. It's Spider-Man, RoboCop, a blonde guy with a chest plate, and a green dinosaur with like armor around his neck. Does it provide copyrights? Spider-Man, Dino Riders, RoboCop, and Orion pictures. So the guy must be the human in Dino Riders. He's the rider of the dino. And WizKid's finally getting a little closer, and Nasir is distracted with recanting his powers. Tacky, with the WizKid's real name, strains to control the living circuitry to lock it back into the real non-living components. Nasir, his monocles bonded to the computers, is caught in a trap. The explosion blows a hole in the sky, and with another vavroom, It's just like things are destroyed. And Sims is crackling because he's still surviving. The kids are running to Tacky to see if he's not dead, but he is knocked out, bruises all over. The New Mutants land next to him as well. And Tacky starts slowly waking up. My fault, all my fault, those poor babies. The whole team telling him, no, you did it. You saved the day. The babies are safe. Yeah, I did it. Thought I could. No, we did it. You and me and all of us exterminators, we did it all together. And Gossamer says, but what about Sim and the other demons? And Sunspot says, we'll deal with them later. For now, let the exterminators have their rest. They've earned it. The end. But Inferno goes on as the exterminators adventure continues in the New Mutants 72 and 73 that we will definitely review. And that, everyone, Exterminators issue 4, volume 1, the 1989 edition, or I guess 88 volume. So thank you, everyone, for listening. Really appreciate it. You can follow my writings at shadowandflamewithmagic.com. You can follow me on YouTube, Twitter, and Blue Sky, and Instagram at Jackal SIII. You can follow the podcast at SNFWM on Twitter and Instagram, which you will see those two images of the Dark Child tonight, and then I'll promote it in the morning is usually how I like to do it. So if you'll please subscribe to the podcast and tell a friend and give us a rating, that will help the podcast grow. And as far as I know, K Pride did not show up at any comics this week, so Monday I get to probably do a Secret Invasion comic. So that'd be nice. And then there's one more after that. And then we are done with Secret Invasion, which I did try to watch the second episode of and fell right back to sleep. So I might try to watch episode 3 because it's now 1:30 and I was having a hard time sleeping. I thought I might as well record an episode. So thank you, everyone, and I will talk at you next time. All right, bye.